bright suns, and welcome back to an all-new episode of Let's Talk About Star Wars with Maggie Lovitt. Today is a very special episode because it is May the 4th. Now, of course, I'm recording this ahead of May the 4th, so I have no idea what's in store for us today and if we're going to get any huge, exciting announcements. Fingers crossed something big comes out today and that you're watching this right off the heels of a super exciting announcement from Star Wars. But I do know one thing that you've probably already watched. If you're watching this YouTube video right now, you've probably seen The Bad Batch. Well, I will let you in on a little secret. I've seen The Bad Batch too. I was super fortunate and I received an advanced screener of the first 2 episodes of The Bad Batch. Getting that email was just like so surreal. I still can't really wrap my head around the fact that I got to see a Star Wars show before everybody else. 6-year-old me sitting in theaters watching The Phantom Menace could not have ever predicted this. So huge shout out to Lucasfilm for hooking that up for me. Just beyond words. So yeah, this week I watched The Bad Batch, and if you haven't watched it yet, stop now because I don't want to spoil anything for you. I'm only going to be talking about the first episode, which drops today on May 4th, so hopefully you've already watched that. Episode 2 comes out on Friday, and my lips are sealed. I will not be spoiling anything from that episode. But The Bad Batch was so much fun. It was totally unexpected. You know, I have had my reservations about the show. My hype really only started when I found out that Fennec Shand was going to be in it. And she wasn't in the first episode, which I was a little disappointed in, but that does give me something to look forward to. So I am excited about that and can't wait for her episodes. But for episode 1, I loved the way that they set it just before Order 66. And my head kind of exploded a little bit that we got to see Caleb, that we saw Kanan Jarrus as a Padawan. That was so great. And, you know, as far as storytelling goes, I really like when they use a character that we already know and love and use that character to introduce new characters. And so the way that they had kind of recontextualized what we know about Caleb's survival of Order 66, and now that Hunter is part of the reason that he survived, that instantly makes us love Hunter and the Bad Batch, except for Crosshair. It makes us care for these characters in a way that we previously didn't. You know, I've definitely not made it a secret that I wasn't a huge fan of the Bad Batch arc in the final season of Clone Wars. It was fine. I was happy that, you know, Echo found, I loved Echo, so I was really happy that Echo found a brotherhood of sorts and found camaraderie with these characters, but I didn't really care that much for it when we had such a finite number of Clone Wars episodes. And I remember last year watching the Bad Batch arc and being like, they're totally setting this up for a Bad Batch TV show. That was a given. And, you know, I just liked how they did that introduction. I thought it was really clever. So, you know, great storytelling on that part. There was some stuff that didn't really work for me, and I'm sure it's just setting the groundwork. I wasn't 100% sold on why Hunter was so drawn to Omega and why Omega cared so much about the Bad Batch. I know that they're playing on the same trope as The Mandalorian with these big, scary, tough guys being total softies for a kid. And I don't feel it yet. I'm hoping that I feel that connection as the story progresses and we see kind of more of Hunter taking on this role of fatherhood. And I feel like there was a reason that the characters there on Kamino, I'm totally blanking on the character's name, but the Kaminoan that helped them escape from Crosshair and ultimately the Empire, I feel like there's something there for why they wanted the Bad Batch to take Omega. and also, of course, with Omega being able to shoot a perfect shot, who then she says she's never shot a blaster before, so it's clear that there's something more going on there. I guess we'll find out, whether or not she is in fact a clone or not, and maybe we'll see if that storyline progresses. I have voiced my issues with that, if they do go down that route, just because blonde white girl descended from Jango Fett's DNA seems weird to me, but I'm going to try to have faith in them that they have some plan in store. But overall it was a solid 9 out of 10 as far as episodes go. I really like that it was a longer episode. It felt like a movie, really hooked you. I really like the way that they're exploring this after for the clones, and how the dynamics with the regs, who kind of fell in line with Order 66, and then the Bad Batch, who were not all affected by Order 66. I kind of wish that we had had a little more time with Crosshair, because I think his betrayal would have had a kind of a harder impact if we had had maybe one more episode of getting to know the character, because right off the bat he really wasn't likable, because Order 66 happened so quickly, and he so quickly fell into this good soldiers follow orders mantra, that you didn't really feel the full weight and impact. So I'm really hoping that they explore that more with the clones as the episodes progress, because I feel like Hunter, Wrecker, Echo, to some extent, and Tech are going to kind of be grappling with this feeling of betrayal. So fingers crossed that they kind of touch on that more, because that's really the heart and soul of the clones, is these connections they make, their brothers, their family, and then the betrayal is so gut-wrenching, but it didn't read as gut-punching as I was hoping for. But it's there, and it might just be as good as we get, and that's fine. I really think that worked for the story that they're telling. It feels very much like this is Clone Wars season 8, so I'm good with that. It's hard to believe that the finale of Clone Wars was a year ago today, so it's nice that we get to see all of these characters, and hopefully see more characters that we know from Clone Wars as the series progresses. And I think there's some really good potential. I will say that the Kevin Kiner and the Kiner brothers music, their orchestration was just incredible. I think I can say in episode 2 there's also some really fantastic orchestration, and I really think that music is even better than Clone Wars. Might be a controversial opinion to have, but it was really good, and it made me feel things. And I think that's probably why some of the emotional weight that wasn't there in the connections between the characters, or even in the dialogue, was just improved, because the music was bringing you there, and you're reaching that emotional crux through the music. So I did really enjoy that. I'm just really excited to see where the series goes. If they bring in other characters that we're familiar with, if they go to places that we're familiar with. And I'm just genuinely a fan of seeing kind of the real world ramifications of, the Empire's hostile takeover. And so I'm hoping that we see more of that, and how the galaxy at large is grappling with that. And I will say, no surprises here, Wrecker is my favorite baby. He's a himbo. He just likes to punch things, but he's a softie. That scene with his stuffed animal, I knew I loved him for a reason. I will forgive him for it being a bunny, but I really love that, and I like that the clones had like pictures in their like little room, and that they're very much this like family unit, and I'm a sucker for family units like that, kind of grappling with all of these changes and new experiences, and bringing somebody new into their family fold. So I'm really excited. Still just cannot wrap my head around the fact that I got to see this episode early. kid on Christmas. So, dreams do come true. I've just been so blessed with Star Wars content here, recently. I still can't get over it. So I'm so excited that everyone's now watching it because it's May 4th and that we can all talk about it on Twitter, because I'm sure people are going to be having a lot of feelings and thoughts, and I'm excited to dive into the discourse. Speaking of things that are coming out, there is the new High Republic Adventures comic, which I also got early, and I just finished writing a review for today as I'm recording this, and it should be out today, hopefully in a couple of hours, or it might already be out whenever you're watching this. But the High Republic Adventures issue 4 is really fun. I'm really enjoying this comic issue. As much as I love the High Republic series in the comics, I really like the Adventures because it has this very different feel that I haven't seen in any of the other Star Wars comics. I'm not sure if there's like some Marvel comics or some other IDW comics that match this tone, but it's very fun and it's very lighthearted, even though there's like some really serious stuff going on in the issues. And I just really like Zine, and I really like Crix and what's going on with him, and Martian Rose costumes, like always chef kiss. But it's fun, and I'm loving seeing more of this world. Like, by the time that I get my hands on the next 3 High Republic books, I already feel so immersed into this era, and we're finally seeing characters in action. We're seeing buckets of blood. We're seeing all of these characters doing things and interacting with each other, and I'm ready to see all of them in the books again. I talked about, last year, one of my hardest issues getting into the High Republic was not being able to visualize the characters because I didn't know them yet. And now that we're seeing them in comics, both the High Republic and the High Republic Adventures, it just feels like these characters have become like a new home to visit, and I'm loving it. So be sure to pick up that issue. And then tomorrow, the War of the Bounty Hunters prequel issue, or Prelude issue, is coming out. I read that as well, and it is so good. My review will be out by the time you watch this. But that is a do not miss. It's super good. I'm not surprised that it's good because Charles Soule is awesome at writing comics, and I really loved the Rise of Kylo Ren series. So I was really excited to see how Charles handles Boba Fett. So far, so good. I've had some issues in the past with the Bounty Hunters comics, not really liking the vibe that they were portraying with Boba Fett, and this is something that's been going on for years. It's one of the reasons I didn't like Boba Fett for a very long time, because they made him this big macho bounty hunter. I'm gonna kill people, toxic masculinity. Wasn't a fan of it. And I feel like now that we've seen Tim as Boba Fett, and we've seen kind of more of Boba as a human, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that Charles explores more of that humanity, and more of that wit and mirth that we've come to know now as, Tamora Morrison's Boba Fett. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I know that this is going to be intersecting with the Darth Vader comics, the Star Wars comics, the Dr. Aphra comics, and the Bounty Hunter comics, and kind of intersecting along the way during its run. So there is that fear of like what's going to happen in the Bounty Hunter comics, because I'm not a fan of them at all. But I have faith in Charles Soule, and I have faith that they're not going to do terrible things with Boba Fett right before his series comes out in December. So I'm hoping that this series helps to lay the groundwork for the Book of Boba Fett, which I am extremely excited for. And I'm really hopeful that we get a teaser for it, or we get something about it today. So hopefully I'm prophetic. And while you're watching this on May 4th, we've already got something about the Book of Boba Fett, because it'd be really cool. I have a wish list of things I hope we get today. One is Book of Boba Fett. One is the Andor series. Those are like the 2 things that I really want to see. And then of course, maybe something from Obi-Wan, though I'm not like super expecting there to be something from Kenobi this soon, but maybe. Fingers crossed. We'll be really excited for any Star Wars content we get today. I am always ready for more Star Wars fun and excitement. But that is all that I have to talk about for releases and things. I wanted to post this on Sunday, but then I was like, wait, I have all this stuff I can talk about on May the 4th. If you listen over on the Star Wars Friends show, we will have either made the big announcement or we'll be getting ready to make the big announcement by the time you watch this video. So be sure to check out our Twitter to find out what's going on today with the podcast. Super excited about that. It should be super fun. And then I have one thing that I wanted to share with all of you. My friend Tristan went to Japan in the before times, like 2-3 years ago now, and I have had these really cute porg chopsticks that he got for me in Tokyo that I have not opened yet. So I wanted to open them on camera for all of you. They're so cute. One of my favorite little items from my collection. So they have, you know, all the fun stuff. As we all know, I am queen of the porgs. So who wouldn't get me porg things? I will never say no to porg things. So here are the chopsticks. They have Star Wars up at the top. And then they come with this very handy little case. Let me see if I can open it. Where you can store them inside. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so I don't lose them. And then they pop closed. But they've got the little porgs on it, and I just think it is so cute. And they are one of my favorite little porg collection items that I have. So thank you again, Tristan, for picking those up for me all those years ago. It is much appreciated. I will never say no to porg items for my friends. But hopefully all of you are having a safe and wonderful May the 4th. Don't break the bank too much on all of the new Star Wars merch, because you know there's going to be so much more as the months progress. We have so many new shows, so many new comics, so many new books. We have so much Star Wars stuff to be excited for. And mostly I'm just saying this so that I myself do not break the bank buying Star Wars merch, because I have to save all of my money to go to Star Wars Celebration next year to see all of you. So I'm just so excited to talk about Star Wars. As always, thank you all so much for listening, for watching, for subscribing, liking, commenting, and of course, chatting over on Twitter. Always a highlight to talk Star Wars with all of you. So be safe. Go watch some Star Wars movies, celebrate our very own life day of sorts as we celebrate the favorite thing that brings us all together, Star Wars. So may the Force be with you, and may the 4th be with you.